well, we have the more trained ICE, you know, like,
Well,
oh, great, cool.
Hold on. I think that a lot of people are saying get rid of ICE and all this, and I agree that the agency is poisoned and probably gonna have to be remade when Democrats take over. But we still want, maybe you guys disagree, but I still want ICE out there getting bad criminals out of communities. I mean, does anybody?
I don't want ICE doing it. I want some other people doing it. I want some other people.
Abolish ICE. This is like one of the things that I've like fully moved left on, because before I'm like, this is like abolish the police. This is ridiculous. Obviously, we need some sort of law enforcement, immigration enforcement. When you see how rotten to the core this institution is and how corrupt and evil they are operating, I'm like, destroy this institution and remake it and enforce immigration some other way. I want ICE gone. So it's not I think, cool, more training.
I think that's probably politically dumb, but I mean, as of like right now,
do you agree? Like, maybe it's right now. Say rhetorically, is this something you agree?
I'm just gonna say, fuck ICE.
Wait, hold on.
I'm just gonna say,
yeah, I'm 100% with you. Fuck ICE. It is rotten. You're 100% right about that. I'm not talking about like the idea of abolishing ICE. I'm not opposed to that. I'm saying that if you run on abolish ICE right now, then you are going to run into that issue where a lot of people they're going to twist it and they're going to turn it into they don't want to enforce immigration. And
so like say something crazy like Democrats are for open borders and they want an invasion.
Well, they will.
And
they would never say that. They will do that, and it'll probably work on a lot of normies.
They've been doing it for years, right? Like, how much worse can their lies about Democrat positions get?
They're doing it now. They're saying like, oh, we actually were trying to arrest a child molester, and Democrats don't want ICE to do that, right? That's what they're going to say, stuff like that.
And if you have like the entire party running on abolish ICE, you're just kind of giving them a layup there. So you can run on aggressively implementing reforms, and I think that's probably the politically smart thing to do.
I would say abolish ICE, fund CBP.
We're close. We're there.
That's my new fucking strat.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, there was a civics poll that came out today that showed support for abolishing ICE went up 17 points since
fuck ICE.
Since the incident. So this incident is clearly not like, I think the Republicans thought this would be a total layup. They saw they got really stuck on that one really grainy one where you don't really see the angle at all. And they thought this was a slam dunk, but the public is very much sympathizing with the protesters right now. I thought it was also really good that we had thousands of people protesting over the weekend and it didn't devolve into like a riotous kind of violent thing. And so we have public opinion on our side at the moment. I think there's like movement towards like being sympathetic to abolishing ICE, but it's still unpopular. It's like 42-50. So conventional wisdom would tell you don't run on unpopular things.
This is
don't free the slaves.
This is probably ran into with defund the police. It's like we just assume people would understand what that meant. Like, oh well, that means then we're gonna move some of the duties onto some other services, but we still want some cops. People don't have the imagination to figure it out, so I worry about criticizing ICE too hard.
I agree. Like, yeah, if you say abolish ICE, that's going to be way more detrimental to your campaign than if you say heavily reform ICE, and when you get elected, you actually end up, destroying and reforming it into something new. You can't run on just get rid of it. That's a soundbite that could be used against you.
We can and should criticize the fuck out of ICE right now. Like my
campaign strategy would be fuck ICE. That's my logo.
Every day that passes, there's like a dozen new videos of ICE agents acting wildly unprofessional. Like, it is so apparent that they cut back the days that they.
Motherfucker, they're acting like the gay Stapo, okay? They are there to detain all gay people, all right? They're there. You don't have enough slay and swag, we're gonna arrest you, okay? Get in these handcuffs, boy. All right, that's what's going on, all right? Bro, motherfucker, they are the Vaseline-laced glove of Donald Trump, okay? Way up his ass, all right? Real deep. You have no idea. You don't know what you're talking about. You're using the most kid-friendly language ever. Why? Why would you do that? Okay, just describe them as evil and just move on. Okay. Also, can I just say this? Abolish ICE or fuck ICE is actually not bad, right? Like, you either want to completely reform ICE into something completely new, or Or yeah, like, because at this point, ICE in its current state cannot exist, right? ICE in its current state is not sustainable. It's not a real thing. It doesn't feel like a real thing either. Like it fundamentally does not feel like a real thing. It's not doing its job.
Train these people. There's no professionalism. I watched a video today of a guy encircled by 5 ICE agents. He's screaming at the agents. They're getting into an altercation.
Uh-oh. Meet Gregory Bovino, local Gruppenführer in charge of all ICE operations in Chicago and this surrounding suburbs. Nice. Oh my god, a Nazi trench coat. Nice, good one. There is no sanctuary here. Yeah, SS. Yeah, and the haircut. Nice, good one, good memes.
He has a serious problem with one of the guys. One of the other ICE officers, he looks at him and says, "I'll talk calm to you. I'll speak calmly to you because you're speaking calmly to me." And the other ICE agent, like, that's a moment right there of de-escalation. That is like ideal situation. You have an interlocutor on the ICE side that is the man is willing to speak like calmly to. And the guy right next to him, a nice agent.
Just a reminder that Joker and Superman and Captain America punches Nazis and KKK.
Started
that.
like in that moment
not to talk about anything, but
just started screaming at the guy, saying he was gonna arrest him. Like, how many dozens of videos have we seen of ICE walking up to people, doing constitutionally
Hutch still against prosecuting MAGA-tard politicians? I'm guessing so.
protected things? Like, you can monitor ICE, you can follow them, you can record them, as long as you're not impeding their arrests or their the course of their duties or anything like that. And we've seen dozens of ICE agents walking up saying, did you not learn your lesson?
Sorry, not
like,
oh my god, I'm sorry for
fucks
making
should be criticized like relentlessly by this party. I'm just saying we should stop short at
sorry.
Abolish.
I didn't mean to do that.
Okay, what about
in the ass.
Nuremberg trials for current ICE, and then we'll put in good ICE agents?
Closer.
I'm saying we could threaten a shutdown over some major changes to ICE and how they are trained, starting with training, like double the training, but also, some of their actions. Like,
Democrats can't fund this government. Democrats can't vote to fund this government without getting something in return. Yeah, I don't understand. This should be so clear.
No.
I'm glad you. Oh, what? Hutch?
It's a must pass moment. Get something every time. We should be getting something every time.
Hell yeah.
Again,
what did we get last time?
You can't force compliance out of this Republican Party. You just can't force them to do things. If they decide to dig their heels.
Are you too? What are you on to? Oh my god, I can't. No, I'm gonna get triggered, guys. I can't do this. I'm gonna get triggered.
In again and say we're not going to move
then
it in.
Shuts down. Shut the bitch down.
No, then you exploit the shutdown for as much political value as you can extract, and then end the shutdown, because you guys cannot seriously be justifying like several months of not sending SNAP payments for Republicans.
Can we not? Like, can we not? Can we just please not?
Republican Party that's not going to give any concessions.
I can't.
Not this shit again.
Snaps off
Not
the
this
table
shit
through
Again.
September, so we don't have to worry about that.
Oh,
but Hutch, you wouldn't support shutting down the government over major reform to ICE? You don't think the public would be behind us on that?
Well, hang on. What you just told me changes the calculus. What did you just say? The SNAP payments are what now?
SNAP payments are off the table through the end of the fiscal year. That was part of the deal the Democrats made.
If that's the situation, then I would be way more amenable to a prolonged shutdown. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think that there might be some momentum here to force some changes from ICE and how Trump is using them with this shutdown.
I want to push Hutch a little bit in our ritualistic conversation. All right, Hutch. Why the fuck does it change anything? Trump was already illegally withholding SNAP funding. So if it changed your calculation and then Trump started illegal.
What? Don't you know who Hutch is? Hutch has always been cucking this hard. That's his entire personality, don't you know?
Illegally withholding SNAP funding in month 2.
What are you talking about?
And you'd be like, but it's funded till
this
September.
Is who he is.
The courts forced his compliance there. The courts checked him on that, on withholding SNAP payments.
that wasn't enough for you to be assuaged at the time that the shutdown was lifted by Democrats. There was still some runway.
Okay, is Pisco okay? His voice is cracking.
No, we've already had this conversation though. I said that I think that they could have gone like a little bit longer, is what I said. But like I literally like 1 or 2 more weeks. But there does get to a point of diminishing returns. Like if you do have a prolonged shutdown that lasts for like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, then you do risk the political benefit of the shutdown fight that we had in the first place. Obviously, that benefited Democrats substantially. Like we've seen the polling, they overwhelmingly blame Republicans correctly and Trump for the expiring tax credits. But if you keep a shutdown going for like 4 months, especially given that it was also going into holiday season, you do run the risk of like people just at some point saying, okay, this just needs to end. And then you lose all the political benefit that you got in the first place. And so I think
who does Trump or the Democrats?
No, the Democrats.
Yeah, but what is feeding that intuition? I mean, we saw the Republicans being blamed. I don't understand what feeds the intuition that Democrats be blamed as opposed to Republicans. That's what I never understood.
Can you not understand what I'm saying? Like if it's a 4-month shutdown, a 5-month shutdown, then you're talking about
why does that change who will be blamed for it? That's what I don't want to know.
Because people will feel directly the impact of that shutdown over time. Like you and me, maybe we didn't feel the impact of the shutdown right away.
Yeah, no, why would that change who people would blame?
Because people at a certain point don't want to do those sacrifices. They don't want to be.
Oh my God. I don't know if I want to do this.
Why would that change? Why would that change whether they blame Republicans more than Democrats?
Are you playing dumb right now? What are you doing?
No, I'm not.
I'm on this. Why would they switch
their target of who they blame?
No. You're not understanding what I'm saying. At a certain point, if people experience the chaos, especially going into holiday season with air travel, people are all over the country stuck in airports for like.
Yes, still blame Trump more.
Literally 12
yes, still
hours.
Blame Trump more.
No.
You'll be more mad at Trump.
You don't understand the risk of that person in that moment saying, I don't care who ends this shutdown, but someone needs to end it. And at that point, you have lost some of that political value because people don't care.
In virtue of what? In virtue of no wait, but like they were blaming Republicans. So what? Why would they change?
We're circling the drain here. I can repeat myself, but you keep repeating yourself. The more prolonged it gets, the more you risk losing that political benefit.
Why? I don't understand why.
I just explained it to you.
No, but you didn't say why. You just said they might.
Did.
They might
You got
okay.
Hold on. Let me try it again. Did any of us directly feel the impact of the shutdown? Like
irrelevant, not answering.
Did any of us feel the impact of the shutdown?
Not answering.
Did any of us
not answer?
Shut the fuck up. Mute his mic. I swear to God. Did any of us feel it?
No, I was
probably not, right? Like mostly not. But if it goes on for 4 months, all of us are going to feel it in some form or another. And at that point, people get impatient and they don't care who's to blame. They just want it to end. And the longer it goes on, the longer they're thinking either party could stop this right now. Like the Democrats could stop it right now. And you do risk losing that political benefit.
Well, can I give a story too? I'll give a Just So story. Yeah, the longer this goes on, the more angry they'll be at the people that they're blaming for it, namely Republicans. Therefore, the longer it goes on and the more pain they feel, the more they'll blame Republicans.
Maybe.
Why does that story not make sense?
Maybe that happens. I'm saying it's a risk. I would say a considerable risk.
The Republicans would have been blamed more. May have the gap may have shrunk over time, but in the end, they still would have been blamed more, I think. But I agree with you, Hutch. I wish they had held out longer. But look, we just had a vote on a clean 3-year extension of the ACA enhanced subsidies.
Republicans voted for it, right?
Passed in the House.
17.
Passed in the House.
It's dead in the Senate, though. But the thing is, if it passes,
I don't know.
Go for it.
Well, because people like Van Orden voted for it. These are total Trump dick riders, and they voted for it. So there may be some momentum there that ends up getting a vote in the Senate eventually, and it passes, and Trump signs it. So in the end, we may get what we ultimately wanted. But we still won because we moved the issue to the forefront, and now we're seen as the party fighting.
That I agree on. Net Democrats are better off for raising the issue in the first place. No doubt about that. And I think that was a good issue. Ultimately, I think that's totally fine. And so I'm not here saying Democrats are useless at everything. I'm not that kind of guy. I love Democrats. I love the Dems. All right. But I'm just saying We just want a little bit more fight. We want some viciousness. That's what I want.
Can I ask you guys a hypothetical?
Yes.
If we had a crystal ball, excuse me, if we had a crystal ball, and I could tell you with 100% certainty that the Republican Party will never concede anything because they're too beholden to Trump's interest right now.
Yes, I would.
Explain that to me. Please explain that to me.
Because it doesn't mean the voters.
What I was going to ask is, would you be okay with stretching the shutdown for a year?
Yes. Yes.
If you knew that you weren't going to get any concessions,
yes.
Why?
Yes, I'll tell you why.
The Republicans were and vote for you. Like that, isn't that what we want for them to be out?
Yeah, that's your argument, Hutch.
Hold on. Say that again?
You would partner with civil rights abolitionists to defeat fascists.
Yeah,
hold on. What parallel are you drawing here? Hold on.
Just because we don't get any concessions in the Senate from the shutdown, let's say they're stubborn as a mule, your crystal ball is 100% correct, does not mean that the voter base is going to say, look who's in charge. They are fucking us. They've been fucking us for a year. We are not reelecting them. That's the win.
And you guys think that you would have like the support of the broader electorate for a year-long shutdown? You are fucking insane. No,
wait, why?
You are in a bubble, an internet bubble.
No,
if you think the
I'm not saying
public would back a year-long government shutdown,
they're going to blame Trump. They're going to blame Trump.
Any concessions.
Trump's in charge. They're going to blame Trump.
Wait, Hutch,
you have lost
you don't
your
think
mind.
even they would blame the Republicans even 1% more? You don't think that even 1% more blame
I
would
think beyond a
benefit
certain
us?
point, the broad electorate are gonna get to a point where it's like, I don't care who ends this, but it has to end. Because
based
you
on
cannot
what?
shut
In
the
virtue
government.
of what? What is feeding that intuition?
Because you cannot shut the fucking government down for a year, Pisco. It's not.
But like,
Yeah, you can.
other than like,
There would
it
be
feels like
so
they would
much
do this. You have,
disruption
like,
and chaos.
Precedent.
Yes,
or,
that they would blame on
or like
Trump, the people in power, Trump who
So that
won the
makes
election.
it worth it. I mean, we already have a huge advantage.
Yes.
But we already have a huge advantage on them electorally right now.
The inches we need are all around us,
We are
Hutch. All right?
already demolishing
We need to win
them.
Alaska.
Pause.
We need to win Alaska. We need to win Iowa. We need to get Carrie Lake in the. Did you guys see that? Carrie Lake, like apparently moving to Iowa to.
Yeah.
That would be a fucking gift for.
Bro, dude, these fucking Republicans have been talking forever about returning back to farming and returning back to just returning back to fucking farming. How could you sit here and say like, okay, well, let's not give them what they want. Motherfucker, they want to raise chickens. Okay? If they want to raise chickens, then let them raise chickens. Okay? They want to raise chickens so badly, then let them raise chickens. Like, come on. Come on now. All right? Let's not be crazy. If they want to raise chickens, let them raise chickens. Okay? If they want to raise a farm and raise chickens and raise cows for food, okay, then let them. That's what they want, after all, right? That's what they voted for. You're against people like you're against people voting for like getting what they voted for. Yeah, they want the coal mines back. That's what they want, right? Isn't that what they want? Okay.
From God above. No, listen, Hutch, this is my calculation. I'll tell you what. When I determine what action we should take, I look at the different situations, the different worlds that could exist, and whatever I think the least harmful outcome is the decision by and large I'm going to take. And I think you and I agree with that. Okay, we love taking the least bad option. Agreed?
Generally, yes. Yes.
Okay, generally, yes.
Principle, yes.
We agree on that. So I think having a persistent shutdown based on a principle of Democrats don't give votes to fund a government without something in return, a principle that we used to uphold, that doing that when the Republicans are unwilling with our crystal ball to budge on anything, and we knew it for a certainty, is still preferable to giving in, because I don't believe that there's going to be mass death in America because of that situation.
Wait, what? That's the only metric here?
Death. Not the only metric. I don't think that the consequences to the health and well-being of the American people are such that it overcomes how much gain there is for Democrats in terms of political advantage in the fight for our country, Hutch, which is the fight against fascism, which you agree with. So if it's the case that the government is not funded for a year, and if it's the case that Republicans are going to be blamed more for it, which I think it will, then I think it's worth it.
Okay, let me ask you a question, okay? This is really important. Would you agree to a year-long government shutdown if it meant that you did not receive any income in that year?
Wait,
Yes.
a year-long shutdown for me
Yes.
myself?
Yes. If
Yeah.
it
Wait.
meant
Yes.
that you did not receive
Yes.
any income for an
Yes.
entire year.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that time.
Yes.
As long as the
Yes.
shutdown is going.
Yes.
I did
Yes.
answer
Yes.
yes to that
Yes.
question, Hutch, just
Yes.
so you're aware.
Yes.
But this
Yes.
is another
Yes.
example.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
Hutch. I want to say I
Yes.
love Hutch. I love
Yes.
beautiful Hutch.
He's my
Hutch is
boy.
beautiful.
Don't do that.
He's your
to
boy.
me.
No,
Don't do
Yeah,
that.
I will
okay.
say.
He's
That
your
was
boy.
one of the slimiest debate tactics I've ever seen. Basically, what you're saying
It's
is
not slimy.
So it is slimy. It is
No,
slimy.
it's not.
Wait,
No.
Hutch, Hutch. I just want to explain why it is slimy. Will you give me the spice to explain?
Okay,
the
Pisco,
space
you're not here to
explain why it's
lecture
slimy?
Hutch on slimy
You're
debate
volunteering
tactics.
space
You
to
are
Okay.
explain it.
volunteering
I just
other
don't want to be.
people
I just don't want to
for
be
a
interrupted
hunger
when I say
strike.
it.
You're
I won't say
volunteering
it.
other people for a hunger strike. That's what you're doing.
saying like
Hutch,
you support the
Hutch,
Ukraine war.
I just
You're
want the
not the
space.
one losing your
Lines, like-
income.
Hutch,
You're not
Hutch,
the one losing
Hutch,
your government
Hutch,
benefits
Hutch,
or your income.
Can I
okay?
have the space to explain why I think it's slimy to use that debate tactic without
if you
interruption?
are not prepared to make the same exact sacrifices that you're asking other people to make
I'm
during a
just
shutdown,
asking whether or not.
Wait, but he is willing to make the exact same sacrifice, moron. But he literally said he would sacrifice his fucking income for a year. He literally just said that. That's what he just said. Okay.
it's a
I can have
fair
the space.
question. That is a
I'm
fair
just,
question.
no.
bro.
I just want to know if you will give me the
create the
space
reality
without
I want.
interruption to explain why it was a
Please.
slimy debate tactic.
Okay, guys.
Okay, without interruption. Thankful. All right. So the reason why it was a slimy debate tactic, because what it's trying to draw out is whether or not I personally would be a hypocrite. And whether or not I personally would be a hypocrite, even if it were the case that I would be a hypocrite, it doesn't mean it's not in the best interest of the country to do what I'm proposing. The question is on what would be best for the country, not whether Pisco himself is a hypocrite in that he would personally give up his income to accomplish what's best for the overall country. And so I'm finishing now. So given that, you understand the issue is what's in the best interest of the country. And given that whether I'm a hypocrite is irrelevant to that, you bringing it up is meant to put me in the position of seeming like a limousine liberal, put me in a position of either confessing to being a hypocrite or people saying, I don't believe you because you would never sacrifice yourself for the country.
I mean, I think it's fair to point out that we are not going to be the ones that are paying that sacrifice for a government shutdown. In fact, we
not,
probably
Hutch.
benefit because more chaos gives us content. Our incomes probably go up as a result of this. But that wouldn't be the case for the how many federal workers are on the payroll that would lose their paychecks, or how many people are relying on government programs that could be potentially impacted by these kinds of things. I don't
You think I'm
it's,
unaware of that?
but I don't think it's irrelevant to say that we are volunteering other people to make that sacrifice. It's
But
easy
Hutch,
for
we
us
do
to
this all
say
the time. Like, would you say you're a hypocrite if you don't want to go die in the front lines, but you're voting for a war that you think is just? Like, yeah, a little bit, but that doesn't mean the war isn't just.
I understand
right?
that. So I understand the point you're making. But in this hypothetical that I just gave you, you're not really articulating what the benefit of a year-long shutdown would be. A political,
Yes, we did.
A political benefit? We are already beating
winning
them
the
by a
next
margin.
election,
Hold
yeah.
on. We are already beating them by a margin of 12 points on average in our elections against them.
It's called not resting on your laurels and trying to get more, because we need more, because it's not enough to just win the House by like a little margin or have another fucking mansion
Yeah,
situation.
and Hutch, to be clear, Pisco, I think you would agree with this. If we knew for a fact that we were going to blow out in the midterms and we were going to win, and like,
Oh, yeah, this is-
like,
yep.
of course we wouldn't want to do this. Like, of course.
Oh yeah. If my intuition, if I thought that the Democrats would be hurt by and large by standing on principle and doing the right thing, I think in this context, then yeah, of course I wouldn't be in favor of it. It's informed by the intuition. Now here's the question, Hutch. If you knew, this is where you're gonna get the question. I think it's fair. We answered the hypothetical crystal ball, same crystal ball that you gave us. We apply it to you, and now you know for a certainty. All the consequences of the shutdown that you've expressed are there. Republicans are also just as unwilling to negotiate. However, in this situation, the comparison is doing the shutdown and standing on your principle then will yield 6 more U.S. Senate seats and 20 more House of Representative seats. Would you take that? Would you take that?
That's a tangible guarantee, and I would think about it at least. I would at least.
You would think about a majority in Congress, like a double majority in Hutch, baby boy. Is someone picking you up at daycare or? Like, are you okay?
Please consider it, but you guys are not articulating.
Wait,
a tangible
no.
benefit.
Would you say yes?
I would think about it genuinely.
I don't know if I can do this.
I don't have an answer off the top of my head. I would have to think about that. That's tough.
You
That
would
is
say
tough.
yes. Because it's the soul of the country, and if someone said to you,
But you guys
okay,
are not
here's the thing,
articulating a
Hutch,
benefit,
Hutch,
though.
I know you're saying that you'd have to think about it, Hutch. If you think about it, and if you come to a determination that yes, you would. If someone came up to you and said, "Oh, you're not throwing yourself on the line, Hutch," you'd be like, "Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, but
Well,
it's
here's my
tangential to
caveat.
what I think is in the benefit of the
Well,
country."
here's my caveat. If that were the case, if you could guarantee 6 seats, you had a crystal ball, I would not support it unless the Democratic Party led a national like mutual aid network. You know what I mean? Like, unless the Democratic Party took a very active and direct role in providing relief for people to make sure that people don't lose their homes, people can feed their kids. That's a tall order. I mean, I don't even, we would.
My God, wait, how much more do we need to do? Like, do you need to promise? Do you need to promise like guaranteed, guaranteed Congress, like all 3 branches of the United States before you say yes? Like, really? You would wait until that? Like, do we even have until that? Or
it would have to be we would have to attract major donors and like it would be a Herculean effort, but I would not. I would have to think really long and hard about like a year-long shutdown.
A year-long shutdown for a Congress majority, you moron. What are you talking? Dude, no, he's not even trying anymore. Hutch isn't even serious, dude. Hutch is not serious. He's not a serious person. He's not a serious participant in this space.
And all the pain that would cause, because that would not be fun. And I don't know what polling you guys are looking at, but there's no fucking way that the public would ever get behind a year-long shutdown under any circumstances.
No.
To be honest, country doesn't survive a year-long lockdown. You either die now or you survive long enough to die. Okay? You either die now or you survive long enough to die painfully. Understand? You either die now, get a quick and painless death, or you can die painfully down the line and you can't choose when to die.
But
Who they're going to blame is the
Or
question.
the year-long shutdown. We'd say that the year-long shutdown would help Dems more than it would help Republicans, meaning that Dems would have a better chance in the midterms.
No, there are a lot of Americans that will and do support shorter-term shutdowns for some kind of political fight to raise the salience of an issue. You are not going to find.
I don't give a fuck if I hate Pisco, okay? Hutch is being deranged here, okay?
Like, they are going to get so fed up with that shutdown so fast.
They're going to get so mad at Trump, just like the Iranians right now are mad at the fucking, among other reasons.
No,
but what,
I think it's obvious. I think it's obvious. You interrupted me.
Among other reasons.
You interrupted me here.
Go.
I think it's so obvious that they would get so tired of it and just be equally mad at both parties past a certain point. There are diminishing returns for this kind of thing. And the smoke that you guys have for Democrats for not being able to magically force a death cult.
Hold on. What's the difference between a government in shutdown and a Trump-led, Republican Party-controlled United States government? What is the difference? The difference is that the Trump-led government is worse. Okay.
Of a political party to concede when they have political power.
Said. Wait, we bit the bullet, or at least I did, and I said I would be.
If they 100% chance can't get them to concede, this might still
would
be
still
better
do it
in the long run.
Short term, yes. I would support a short-term shutdown, yes, for political gain, but you're sacrificing that beyond a certain point.
I got to read this super because it's to your point, Hutch, and they gave me $100. So thank you very much, Spook. They said the main thing is that Democrats suck.
Like what? Like why wouldn't you cripple a Republican-led government for a year? Why wouldn't you? Because in that year's time, they could have already built the gas chambers. What if you knew that they needed 1 more year to build the gas chambers? Huh? Wouldn't you delay them by 1 year? Wouldn't you shut down the government by 1 year? So then you can delay them building the fucking Latino gas chambers? Like, what the fuck, bro?
Messaging, and given the administration has a stranglehold on it, combining it with the fatigue, i.e. what you were just saying, like a very long drawn out shutdown where it's like really hurting people, would have been a tipping point. They think that they should have held out for the shutdown, but I do
buying that.
It's perceivable to me that this could be worse in the long run. This is not a hill I will die on. I'm saying that ultimately what Pisco and I think IRI agree, is this would hurt the Republicans more. And if this was like the difference between a slight win in the midterms, which were projected maybe a bigger win, versus like, oh, we're guaranteed to win, I think it's okay to sacrifice that during the shutdown.
Here's the big question, right? And I think ultimately we can go back to 2024 for this. My intuition is that 2024 was
also, once again, I have to say this again, okay? Because I truly believe if I mention this enough, you guys will change, okay? Hutch and Pisco both suck. But even if they were both great people, all right? Even if they were both great people, all right? I do not want anyone's biases to change the way you determine something to be right or wrong, okay? I don't ever want to see that ever in my audience, okay, or in my community. If something is a good take, it's a good take, okay? If something's a bad take, it's a bad take, all right? From whose mouth it comes from does not matter, all right? We will shit on Pisco the next time he does something shitty. I'm more than happy to do that. All right. The next time he starts doing his lefty type shit, I'm more than happy to do that. I want you guys to think for yourselves, okay? I don't want you guys to give in to your anti-Hutch or anti-Pisco biases, okay? It's not about that. You're allowed to have biases, okay? I think I actually dislike Pisco more than Hutch. I legitimately dislike Pisco more than Hutch. But why is it that I'm bashing Hutch right now? Because he's wrong.
Lost / an uphill climb because of the actual sort of feelings and conditions regarding the state of the country and prices and inflation. There are some people who say Biden and Kamala lost because of messaging. I am much more inclined to think that 2024 and a lot of these economic conditions, that people's blame for them are correlative and they blame whoever's in charge. And if you take that view and you think it has less to do with the stranglehold on alternative media or whatever, then I think you'd be inclined to say that any bad thing that persists while Trump is in office is going to be blamed on Trump. By all else equal.
That doesn't feel analogous because it's not like with the economy you can make a decision to end a shutdown and, you know, bring inflation down. But you can, as a Democratic Party in Congress, you know, give the votes to pass a budget to end a shutdown, to stop a shutdown. So you can have a much more direct impact. And I just think it's so crazy that, like, even when I told you, even when I gave you the hypothetical of, like, you know, they're not going to give you any concessions. That to me is just purely performative. You're just chasing like catharsis, and you're not really.
I know. So you don't really have an articulate. Wait. I just want to.
I also don't like how Hutch constantly tries to dumb down everything to, oh, you're just doing spite-based politics. You're just doing spite-based politics. You're just doing spite-based politics, bro. Dude, stop. They are literally like everyone is already outlining the results of these actions and the results they're aiming for, motherfucker. Okay, don't dumb down everything to, oh yeah, you're just looking for catharsis. Oh, you're just looking for pleasure. Motherfucker, like, people are trying to explain to you the tangible effects, the tangible pragmatic effects of what they're trying to achieve, okay? For you to paint people to have that take is so absurdly bad faith. I cannot believe you are saying this, okay? It is so bad faith, and you know it, all right? You are being bad faith when you say this, okay? You are being bad faith when you are painting everybody else as just simply being vindictive and spiteful and spite-driven, all right? You dumb down everyone's takes as black pill politics. Stop doing that. Stop fucking doing that, moron. Stupid. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Dumbass.
So, all right, it's not bad faith because it is my real opinion. You can say you disagree with it.
Sorry.
Doesn't mean that it's bad faith.
Meow.
I didn't say you're bad faith.
It's not performative. I actually do agree with this. And
If
saying something like
performative, he would have won his debate.
And like
you're pissed
saying that,
and you want like an avatar to like channel that anger and do something with that anger. But a shutdown, a year-long
this is
shutdown.
infantilizing. You're basically saying that my strat is some kind of like emotional release, and then it makes me feel good to just be angry or something. But like, I just don't have that intuition. My intuition is that strategically, it doesn't make sense for us to signal as negotiators, yeah, if you push us like hard enough, then we won't have any line. And what you're suggesting, I think, is even more ridiculous and even more emotional, which is you, with 1 year of shutdown, will give up basically anything. I mean, why would this not apply to any program you care about? If that were on the table, if the only budget they passed, it was clean CR plus, eliminating something that you really cared about. If someone came up to you and say, oh, you want people to starve or whatever, you would not accept it. Everyone needs to have a line in negotiations. And to claim that my line is performative, but whatever bullshit line you're going to come up with, because I will push you, and we've already done it, frankly. I said, if funding the government was contingent on ending Medicare altogether, you would be against it, right? And that's a line that you would, that's a line that you would draw. But that line's not performative because it's Hutch's line. But my line is performative because it's Pisco's line. It doesn't make any sense.
But this shutdown doesn't get us anything. Like, I'm trying to get people to understand that
what are you talking about? Oh my god. He's just being, you know what? I respect it. Okay. I respect the amount of bad faith. Okay. I respect this. I respect this amount of horrible, terrible.
Like, your anger and your frustration should be directed at the Republican Party, who are currently a death cult subservient to a senile pedophile who is instructing them for the barrel of a political gun to not give any concessions whatsoever, and they're obliging him. They are the problem. If you can't force them to make concessions, your anger should be reserved to them. And the proposition of a year-long shutdown.
The logic is not, oh, we're doing this just to be like, well, if they're not going to back down, we won't. The logic is we would project that Republicans would perform significantly worse when the midterms roll around we still continue.
That's
and
crazy.
if you don't agree with that could be where you contend. But we're not doing it just to be performative. It's the idea is we would win more votes because more people would blame them for the shutdown.
But why do you say they would not give in on anything? Where is that coming from?
Crystal ball. So this is the crystal ball hypothetical.
No.
Where they won't.
We had the longest shutdown in our government's history, and they did not indicate even a tiny inch that they were willing to concede anything. Okay, we already know that that's what they did. Okay, maybe the politics are different this time around. Like,
Hutch dumbs down Pisco. They're dumbing down each other. Okay, they're dumbing down each other. People are just too blinded by their hatred of Hassan. Okay. They think Hutch is the next fucking godforsaken savior of the world or some shit just because he hates Hassan. Bro, just because he's going through his own just because he's going through his own fucking anti-lefty arc doesn't mean he's automatically like the next best thing, okay? I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking, oh my god, it's so based how he's like just A-logging Hassan all the time. Oh my god, he's so based. He's so based for that. Dude, what? Motherfucker, are we on the precipice of fascism or are we not on the precipice of fascism? Hello?
maybe, because we had, just like you said, we had like 17 Republicans in the House that voted for these tax credits. And if that's the case, then it does
I'm including you in the case of people who dumb down Hutch's argument. What part of Hutch's argument am I dumbing down exactly? Okay, I acknowledge that he doesn't want to take risks. Okay, I acknowledge that the risks that he takes are too small. Right? I acknowledge that he's a coward. All right. I acknowledge that he's a spineless freak. Okay, like yeah, of course. Am I anti-fan? No, I'm not. All right. So which part am I dumbing down exactly?
Change the calculation. Like if I actually thought that there was wiggle room, if you could give me some quotes from Republican senators that are like indicating that their political calculation has shifted, maybe they that changes the whole discussion.
What about the votes in the House?
What about them? I just said. I mean, I just mentioned those.
Right. Yeah. So now, given the fact that Republicans have signaled the willingness to do that thing, why would it not make sense? Well, I'll tell you why. Is because Democrats have already signaled their weakness. That one of the problems with negotiating, where you define when it is that your line is, your bottom line is, and where it'll be.
It's clearly psychosexually evolved. I just don't think I'm dumbing down Hutch's take in any way. Like I'm just not. It's very clear to me he's worried about a bunch of Americans starving, and he's worried that's going to eventually backfire on the Democrats. Like I'm sorry, that's just his entire take. I just steelmanned it just now in good faith. I just steelmanned Hutch's take in good faith. Like you can't complain about me like not understanding Hutch's take anymore because I just steelmanned it. I literally just steelmanned it. Okay, like you can't complain. I literally just said that yeah. He is worried about a lot of people fucking starving, which is like obviously not a good thing. And he is worried they'll backfire on the Democrats. Like which part of his take is it not like not being taken in good faith? Fuck me.
Too much pain is now.
Like, I just summarized it like 2 times now.
Republicans are just going to eat your heart out in every negotiation. So we fucked ourselves because we have useless
I know what his
negotiators.
take is.
I
just disagree.
Has a government shutdown ever led to concessions?
Yes.
I don't know if that's true. Has it ever? When has there ever been concessions?
There. I mean, yes. In the Ted Cruz shutdown, they put in some reporting requirements for the new exchanges, that they were doing under the Affordable Care
ACA
Act.
thing?
I mean. Yeah, they put in some reporting requirements there. You know, you can contest how significant they were, but we're not talking about major policy concessions as the only reason we would do the shutdown. Soybill has now just said this 3 times. I'm just hoping that you hear him, that we've laid out why we think that it would make sense that Republicans would be politically blamed more for the situation than Democrats. And so you can't just say it's performative unless you are like, it's so ridiculous to think Republicans would be blamed more. So you have to actually take the argument as it is.
It's performative when you say that you would support a shutdown even if you knew it wouldn't amount to any concessions for a year. What is the point of that shutdown?
So this is the 5th time now I'm saying it, and Soybill said it multiple times. So there's a thing called
no, but you live in fantasy. You live in
elections.
a fantasy world where you think the public would like, you think this would net us like 10 or 20 seats in the House or like 5 seats in the Senate. When in reality it would just piss off the entire electorate and they would become
against 2
disillusioned.
Against 2.
No, against both parties is what would happen. You guys
if
are
everyone's
living in a
disillusioned,
fantasy.
Democrats will. If everyone's disillusioned, Democrats will clean house. Because Democrats voters will go up to the polls and the disillusioned voters won't.
We're already cleaning house, though. That's the thing. Like, you guys are why fuck up a good thing? Like, why take a risk like this?
We said if we knew for a fact, like, we're going to stop them, the midterms are a fucking lock, then we wouldn't even bother.
Yes,
that's
correct.
Gisco and I conceded.
I'm not resting on the laurels. I think the whole Constitution is up for grabs.
Sure thing. And yeah, and that fascism is on the rise. And like the idea that like you're willing to say, and like we'll even say like, yeah, in a trolley problem dichotomy, I would 100% put my weight behind a segregationist Dem to beat fascism. Yeah, if that's the only other option.
Yes.
In the same way, like if this was the like one of the best ways, only ways to win the midterms, we would do this. But this is not the best option, and the downstream consequences, like you said, could absolutely fuck us. And the same way, electing a pro-segregationist Dem as like the governor or like a senator could absolutely fuck the people of that state. Like just because my interracial marriage might get fucked doesn't mean I don't think that would be better than stopping fascism.
So the disconnect here is you guys seem to think that it would benefit Democrats. I think you're delusional. I think there's...
Wait, why?
I think...
In virtue of what?
I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm just going to say that I think you guys are fucking delusional if you think that that would be a political benefit to Democrats.
Worse conditions in a prolonged...
You just repeated yourself though, moron. Stupid.
Shutdown would hurt the party in charge. That's delusional. Hutch's take is it's delusional to think that.
If
Yeah,
you think that the broad public would tolerate all of the disruption and consequences of a year-long shutdown.
We're not saying we tolerate it. We'd say they blame Trump.
No.
As the
They
shutdown
would
went
blame
along,
both
they
parties.
blamed
At some
Republicans
point,
more,
they would be
right?
like, we don't give a fuck about this anymore. Democrats, you need to just vote to open.
Hutch's peace go. That's kind of deep, actually.
Wait.
That is what would happen.
Maybe-
And you guys
maybe.
are fucking
Maybe.
delusional
But look
if
at
you
this,
think that
Hutch.
anything
Based on
other
the
than that
data.
would happen.
Based on the data from the last shutdown, if you look at who blames Republicans, it goes up the longer the shutdown went on. Okay. So if you have data to show that there's an inflection point where suddenly they're like, fuck the Dems, this is awful.
the Dems.
I would like to see it, but I have
Yes.
not seen this data.
That's why
If this
I
data
said-
exists, I'll be like,
Based.
oh shit.
Why-
Maybe this is something we
you
need to
guys
not
are-
let go along.
Why would the
anymore.
Democrats get blamed? Like Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House.
Well,
People
come on,
do not
because
understand that
they
you
can
need
vote to pass
votes
the
in the
budget.
Senate.
Because they can vote to pass the
So can
budget.
the
have
Republicans.
any
That's
idea.
true of both. That's true of both.
I get it. I understand
Hutch,
that. But
go up-
the public will at some point the public
No,
will be
they
like, I don't
won't.
care if you're not getting the concessions.
No.
We can't. No, you
Based on
guys are.
what?
I disagree. Go up.
Okay. If you guys don't trust me, that's fine. Okay, but can you guys at least trust IRI? Come on, guys. Come on. It's IRI. Okay, this guy has a massive cock. It's IRI. Do you guys not trust IRI? This guy has like a massive. This guy has massive balls. Okay.
Up to 10 random Americans and say, how many votes do you need to pass a bill in the Senate?
They don't
have
know
no
shit.
idea. They don't even know.
Like, IRI, this guy has memorized every senator, every representative, maybe. I don't know. Okay, probably not that. Okay, this guy literally memorizes every policy that gets through the fucking set. Whenever he talks about a specific bill, nobody knows what the fuck he's talking about, okay? Do you know why? Because IRI is the only motherfucker that cares about autistic shit like that, okay? He's like the master of politics. At least trust IRI, okay?
That's not the point. They're gonna experience the consequences, and they're gonna say this has to
Blame
end.
Trump.
No.
Blame Trump.
They're Republicans. They control everything. It's such an easy layup for the Democrats. Republicans control everything. I don't know what's going on
You
here.
guys are fucking delusional.
Wait, we should bring
Fully
Josiah
delusional.
on. Wait, where's
on what?
Josiah? He's in the chat. Wait, we should bring Josiah on
Second-
if he's around.
Second of all, there's no
Wait,
world
what?
in which a year-long
Yes.
shutdown happens. We had the holidays coming up. Business travel would have slowed down. The economy would have been shaky, and Trump would have bent the knee. Would have been the game over.
And there won't be.
That's
And
what
Hutch, let me alleviate your fears.
He would have
There won't be a years long
bent the knee
shutdown
to
for the reasons
suck me
I just
off.
stated, and also because Democrats are too weak to let it happen. They've already shown their hands.
Oh my
They've
God.
already shown their
The
hands.
fact that you think that is strength, that
That's
is
true.
political
No,
strength, is
it
I
of
think,
course
like,
is.
the
It of course
biggest
is.
disconnect
They-
between you and I.
No, they've signaled their weakness on a go. Not all of them, but a dispositive amount of Democrats have signaled that they're going to bend if you just make the pain last a little long, and then that's all they have to do is wait out the Democrats. So it's not going to happen because of the
A
reasons I
little
already
bit of
stated.
pain. You just said a
and because
little bit
the
of
Dems.
pain. You said a little bit of pain. Snap was
It's
not funded before that shutdown ended.
So, so
little
when I
bit
say
of
a little
pain?
bit, relative little amount of pain compared to the
To a
consequences of
fascist
the country.
takeover.
That
Yeah.
to me
Yes.
is fucking crazy to say that the complete halt of SNAP benefits
What else
for
is
potentially
crazy?
like
IRA's
several
dick.
months. That's not a little
You
bit
can
of pain.
soy out about my terminology, little bit of pain there.
do soy
you can
out.
soy out and be
I
like,
do
oh
soy
my God,
out over
you're
the
so out
low-
of touch.
I do-
Ivory Tower,
I'm
Ivory
so-
Tower.
it's
Just keep
true,
doing
I'm
it. It doesn't-
soy. It's true. It's true. I'm
keep saying Ivory Tower. You're in an Ivory Tower. You're in an
Okay,
Ivory. I mean, keep
all right.
saying it. And it doesn't help your point. It doesn't advance anything about what's in the best interest of the
That's
country.
fine, but just acknowledge and own the fact that you are volunteering other people for a hunger strike in that spot.
We did.
100%. Yeah.
Wait. So we.
Wait, you realize that, actions do that all the time, right? You realize that's... Okay, I want people to understand this. It is fundamental to politics that politics is about sacrifice, okay? Politics fundamentally, sometimes, it isn't about everyone winning, okay? Sometimes it really is a zero-sum game, okay? Sometimes the politics really is about paying and cutting losses, and sometimes people suffer and die, all right, for vain political purposes, okay? Sometimes people make gambles, all right? That's just the nature of politics. You cannot be arguing against the fundamental nature of politics, okay? You are arguing against a fundamental... If you're so scared of political consequences, maybe you should just pack up your lunch bag, all right? Go home, cry home to mommy, all right? Ask her to make you some chicken nuggets and some milkies, all right? Because clearly you're not cut out for the adult world, okay? This is a place where we make adult decisions, all right? I want to be able to make adult decisions, all right? Why the fuck are you cowering in your corner, not able to make any kind of adult decisions where actions have consequences, huh? So you would rather sit here and watch everybody you love die than stand and actually make a fight somewhere. You would rather sit around and start sucking moderates' dicks, okay? Pulling back your hair in a bun. And then getting ready to wobble to and fro your mouth in a very smarmy manner to make sure that you're pleasuring these moderates as much as possible. You realize that every single decision you make in politics will kill people, right? It doesn't matter how passive the decision is, okay? A dollar that is sent towards somebody else is a dollar taken away from something that somebody needs, okay? Two people allocated from one department to another could have been two more people that has been taken away from some service that people desperately need. This is the nature of politics. Politics has always been about pros and cons. Consequences. It has always been about consequences. Just like how rent control is not inherently evil. Just like how rent control will it would save lives in the short term as much as it will take lives if you let it linger for too long. This is the nature of politics. If you're too cowardly to admit this, then maybe politics just simply isn't for you. Maybe you should just pack it up and go home. Maybe you're just too cowardly to engage in politics. Maybe you're just a pathetic little wretched creature who never wants to go outside, hide back at home, and reap your reward as a balding man, as a balding white man in his mid-50s. Maybe you just can't handle aging. That's okay. You can just sit at home, play some Arc Raiders, okay? Maybe you can be a psychopath in Arc Raiders and not a psychopath in politics. But sometimes being a psychopath is what's needed to make the big boy decisions, okay? Politics is about big boy decisions. Stupid moron. I'm sorry. I sound unhinged. Okay, whatever.
We obviously have acknowledged every bullet that you gave, and we gave our explanation about why the Democrats wouldn't be blamed for it, and why in the long-term interest.
I think you're delusional. I think you are delusional.
So Hutch, would you sacrifice 1 million lives of Americans to preserve democracy in the United States and prevent fascism? Yes or no?
In a war, sure.
Okay, so wait a second. So you're gonna sacrifice other people's lives for like your democracy, bro?
But you don't process. Here's the big disconnect. You guys can't process the possibility that the Republicans are not gonna bend. That Donald Trump is a fragile, egomaniacal.
Wait, but sacrificing 1 million Americans to fight World War II, isn't necessarily a guarantee that we would defeat Hitler. You fucking moron. You fucking inbred. You fucking trailer trash. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. That's too mean. Okay. Bro, none of this. You can't. What? Are you... God, dude, it's just I can't do this. Wait, run, get the fuck away from this motherfucker. Damn, bro. Close the door.
Oh, I hope you have something great to wear tonight because we're going to a party. party. I want to introduce you to someone.